This is the North Garden. Let's go take a look. This is the first bed. It's my nitrogen fertilizer test. So we have, down at the end there, we have kind of everything mixed in. On the right side, we have our 1 cup of worm castings that was mixed in. So you can see it's a decent growth. Not as many came up. That could be the thickness of the compost. There is a little bit of yellowing on that one. See over here, the leaves are they're at their second stage of leaves. This has decent greenery. So nothing horrible, but a little yellowing and not quite as far. The next we have feather meal, 1/2 cup. That's looking actually pretty good if we look at all of them. We have a little bit of the same yellowing, not as intense. If you look at our growth stage, see the other one was here. This is an extra leaf up, but there is some damage to it, so it might not be doing as well. There's some more there. Actually, yeah. So we're seeing a little bit of damage, a little bit of yellowing, not as bad as the other. So feather meal seems a little better at this stage. The next one we have is bat guano. Well, 1/2 cup of that. And there are some interesting deficiencies. This could be the plant itself, but this is pretty severe. We see a little yellowing here. And a little yellowing and damage there. More came up here, and that could just be a function of thickness of the compost on top of the seeds. So not quite sure about that, but notice the stage we're in, and the height is a bit higher. So a lot of the beans look a lot healthier. Looking pretty good here. So we've got some grass here pretty far along. So bat guano seems pretty good. Not sure what that is about. We'll see later. The next up is blood meal, 1/2 cup of blood meal. There's definitely less in this bed, and there's some yellowing. You can see that leaf there is a little yellow. Some of these are a little yellow. Again, could be crop based. This is interesting. This is a grass, and this is yellow, which isn't encouraging. So that definitely puts blood meal below the feather meal based on that one. So I think right now feather meal is winning with bat guano right behind. And this is all 4, but I did it because this side of the bed is really bad. And you can see that, like, there's still some issues. So we'll see as things grow up how long these nitrogen sources last. This isn't the last test. We need to see across 2 months what happens. So that's where we are at the moment. All right, this is the squash bed, or one of them, and it's just a lot of squash growing. Amaranth is done, birds are clearly eating it, and we have a really good basil plant. I think this is best bed number 2, and I'm hoping to put peas in it or garlic, and then cover crop the far end. We're having something eating all of our gourds and stuff, just chewing on them. I don't know if I could find any of them, but yeah. Oh, here's the melon. It seems unscathed, so that's good. Here are the tomatoes for the season. The Valencia at the end is pretty much stopped. There's no production there. The Early Girl has started production back up, and it has red ones on it right now, but it's going into that kind of green leafy stage you see at the end. There are some hookworms, but not enough for me to care at the moment, and because I'll be pulling this out in a week or 2. And then the Vivacious hybrid, you see this, it's just going for it. We have all stages. It's never stopped producing. It's only gotten more as time went on. I did a little fertilizer in the middle in like the hot months, and that actually seemed to help everything. And it's doing exactly what we were hoping. It's kind of dangling through this mesh. So next year I'm hoping to put this mesh higher so that I can easily so it's above my elbows, so I can pick these easily while standing, and then do a bunch of plums, because you can see kind of the width of this. And then I want clusters of plums that'll actually drop through, just like they're doing here. You can see they're doing it on the one below too. You can see below, see? So that yeah, so I'm gonna try to get plums, things that go through here, things that are heavy in the mesh, and I won't do it with anything lighter than that. These are the cherries and grape tomatoes, kind of going a bit wild. Again, Isis Candy did nothing. Pondiando, I forget. It produced some, not very many, probably just bad bed. The other two are super robust. Johnny Seeds, both are, I think, greenhouse varieties, did really well. This is the Clementine. It's produced ridiculously well. Taste is not, it's good, it's not superb. So if you're looking for superb taste, I would go differently. But if you want volume, these guys do great. You can see the size. So, and they don't decrease in size, even though I have a bunch of them. So they keep their size even when they're mass producing, which is amazing. Here's some of those red ones, not very many of them. On the other hand, Sant Orange, you can see here, there's some on this one, but then some over here that are extremely small. Like, I'm not even picking these because they're not worth my time based on the size. And there's just not very many of these, and it's hard to go through and decide which one. So I've stopped harvesting. If you grow Sant Orange, I would recommend the, like, a couple 2 liter, 4 liter trellis method. Doesn't work for me, but that method will probably keep these at the correct size, because these are half the size they should be, and these are just ridiculous. So that's my recommendation if you grow these. Very tasty, highly recommend. All right, this is my bean and corn. For some reason, these beans just decided to produce again. I don't know what's up with that, but they decided to produce, even though it's way too late and they'll freeze or drown. So those guys are gonna die in about a week. All right, and here's with the best bed. We've got the chard, we've got the basil, we've got the beans, got some compost. We have ridiculous amounts of mushrooms. So the fungal growth in here is doing really well. There's some under there, I don't think you can see. And then over here we have Egyptian walking onions, and we have thyme right next to it, which is looking amazing. Thanks.